Reported Our Bear. It's Tuesday night, so of course that means we're playing Valley by Night River City, our Vampire 5th Edition actual play. I'll be your storyteller for the evening, Jason, and with me tonight will be... I just realized two of y'all are in the wrong spot. Eric, playing Kyle.
Machine.
Jeremy, playing a GDO. And Sarah, playing Emma.
I'm waving so vigorously right now.
Alright, I think everybody's in the right spot now. Getting a late start. We had some technical difficulties. Nothing to be done about that.
It's not going to do anything.
Oh.
You just took her picture, Dan. Alright, so we've missed a couple of sessions. So who wants to give the recap of what happened last time?
I got to remember that far back?
Yep.
Shenanigans.
Okay, was it... I honestly don't remember now.
Tisk tisk.
I know there had been the running of the werewolves.
That was
Or
last
was that
session.
the session before that?
That was
Okay.
last session.
That was last session or the session before our last one?
No, the running of the werewolves was last session.
Okay.
Running with the wolves
We've been
tonight.
tracked by some entity.
So yes, Kyle ran basically a pack of werewolves into the heart of the city to fetch a lost cub. While the rest of you had a little encounter with the police that went surprisingly well, truthfully. I figured somebody was going to get messed up in there, but
Probably the cop.
oh yeah, it would definitely be. I mean, they only had like regular bullets. But towards the end of the session, you found out that the domain seems to be under surveillance.
Oh yeah, they
Someone had-
found cameras pointed at
Mhm.
places.
So there's this bank branch across the road, technically outside your domain, but across the road from the mall. To the south, somebody put an extra camera up there. And a camera was installed on the top of the Waffle House. There was a camera, an extra camera, hidden amongst, some of the cameras that were already on the side of the mall. Though the camera on the Waffle House was actually pointed across the belt line like it was watching the hospital. I think you had decided at this point not to do anything about them, at least not that night. Though there were lots of little carefully phrased messages sent out to the other barons. And then I think y'all retired for the night? Or for the day?
Yep.
I believe so.
Because it had been an eventful day.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And the last roll I got... looks like that might have been Iola rolling to hunt.
I think we did some hunting before we all went to bed.
Quite possibly.
I think Iola's definitely hunted before going to bed.
So if the sun sets the next day, you all awaken. Give me your rouse checks.
Oh wait, I have my dice now.
Hey.
Hey!
But the roll 20 dice roller loves you.
It does
No,
not.
it's not.
It
That's
absolutely
bullshit.
does not.
It doesn't like me in particular.
It does have a grudge against you, I think. I don't know what you did to it, but...
I do not get any hungrier.
I'll roll my hunger dice and then look for my prey. I'm good? I haven't specifically unpacked from the con yet.
I get hungry, but I'm good. I'm at 2
sorry,
right
I'm
now.
hungry. Woo!
Okay.
I will not be hunting.
Alright, is anybody going to be hunting?
Let me see what hunger I'm at real quick before I commit to that.
Might need a sneaky snack.
Maybe. Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm chilling.
All right. So as you awaken, Egidio, what are you doing first?
Jadeo wakes up, takes a. He does the thing where he pretends to be like some noble person with a thing of wine and just like kind of. He's not drinking it. He just has it like it's like he has a piece something to like ponder over while he's like. It's just there as a decorative piece to
Like
just
a fidget spinner.
while he's just fidgeting with it. He's just while he's mulling things over.
Egidio Luna,
Okay.
drama queen.
You gotta
I
set
mean,
the scene
it's
for your
I mean,
brooding.
it's vampire, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say everyone here is a drama queen.
We are nothing if not drama.
Yep.
And then he will just sit there. It's not necessarily brooding, but if anyone was looking at him right now, it'd probably look like he's brooding. And he'd do that for a little bit, and just think. And then he'll sniff like Sommelier would show you how to do. And then he would activate Sense the Unseen to see if his roommate is here.
She is not here at the moment.
Not here as in actively hiding, or not here as in has not caused a disturbance in the house today.
You don't see disturbance in the house today. But you know, she doesn't do it every day.
Yeah, just often enough to check for it. And then he will exit. Check his haven for cameras.
Okay, give me a wits awareness, I believe.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna take a specialty in awareness. I swear to God.
Might as
Specifically
well.
able to spot tech crap. Let's see. 3, 2. Yep. Ah, feels good to roll dice again. They don't like me though.
They don't
one
love you
success.
like the roll 20 does.
It's fine.
One success. You don't see no cameras. You're confident there are none.
He does still have that little tray with the mesh and blood. So he'll hold on to that for the day. When he's confident that he has spotted some cameras in spots where they shouldn't be, then he'll probably deploy that at some point.
Okay. Emma, what are you doing when you first get up?
And then he goes to the office. Sorry.
I will be right back.
Checking emails, text messages, all that kind of thing. See if there's any more word out on any other cameras up.
Well, this could be good news or this could be bad news, depending on how you want to look at it.
Oh, it's probably horrible. Let's go for it.
But you are not the only domain that's finding cameras. So at least you're not being picked on specifically.
It's a first. It's a concerning first, but it's a first. Have they heard of the Camarilla being targeted just as much as we are, or do we not know, or?
Nobody in any of their correspondence says anything about the cam.
Okay. But there
Wait,
was
I
one
have a
that we
liaison.
know of pointed at the cam, so
That is correct.
we can assume. They've been, at least in some areas, just as overt.
Mm. So, of course, they're kind of looking up, or, generally in the mall area, looking across the hospital.
The other domains, is there stuff in particular that they're looking at? They mentioned maybe.
The Opera House and the Princess Theater.
Okay.
The abandoned or the unused gas station that the camp had basically set up as a fort close to the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
The one Kyle and some of your folks and some of Maddox's folks had kind of taken. That's now
18-wheeler into.
That seems to be under observation. There is who was it that had that domain? Oh, but there is no reports as of yet. No, nobody from the outer domains have gotten back to you.
Okay. Speaking of domains, the one where a while back the Baron of that domain had been killed, and we'd sent some reinforcements in there. Have they gone about getting a new Baron, or have we heard? Setting up a new Baron.
Nobody in that area has really stepped up yet, so they're still kind of working on it.
Okay.
And like I said, nobody from that area has reported back of there being finding any cameras. But they really just haven't responded. Period.
Yeah. She'll check on that throughout the evening, just to see if anything updates, and probably head to the office.
All right. Since Duba is not here today, we're going to say Walter contacts you, and basically that he's going to be working with the other Nas in the domain for the evening.
Sorting out the cameras.
Trying to come up with a potential tech solution.
To disable them, but make it look like we haven't disabled them, kind of thing.
Right, or see if there's found a way to track them.
Yeah.
Because the model they were, I think this was some information I gave you last time, that they had checked on the model type, and they use SIM cards so they can send their footage over cellular networks.
Mm-hmm.
So traceable.
At least to a general area.
Yeah.
So Kyle, what are you doing when you first get up?
Gonna feed the pets.
Okay.
And because he's a little paranoid about cameras, he is going to do a look himself, but sort of do it like for his like kind of local block / neighborhood area by taking Shiloh for a walk. Basically use that as a glance around to see if he spots any cameras. Might be watching either where his haven is or near to where his haven is.
Okay. So you just kind of wander the next few streets around. All right, give me a wits awareness.
Okay.
This is, of course, not scent based, so that is not going to help you any.
Yeah, so I don't get my 7th dice. I only have 6.
Smells like a camera.
Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a critical.
Okay, you don't find anything on your street, but then nothing much has happened on your streets. I mean,
yeah.
See with the 5.
See, I don't know if it being a critical matters.
That just bumps up how many successes. So.
Yeah. I know with some powers, like if you get a critical success, you do this extra thing. So I don't know if it being a crit
Yeah,
mattered.
most regular skills I don't think do that.
Fair enough.
But you get a few streets over
Mm-hmm.
to where the where you had that little dust up with the Bali.
Uh-huh. The little dust up. I mean, basically where we went house to house down an entire street.
If you want to make it sound like it was a big deal, okay, you can.
Okay.
Walking down that street, you spot
Mhm.
some cameras on the corners of some houses.
Okay.
That maybe they were there that other night, them weeks ago, and you just didn't notice them. It's always possible,
Mm-hmm.
but they at a distance at least, because if you get right up on them, it's gonna see you get right up on them. That'd be suspicious. But at a distance, looks like it could be the same model that the ones around the domain were. Keep in mind, this is enough straight over. This is technically out of your domain.
Yeah. Interesting. Alrighty.
Oh, when you
We
stepped away for a minute,
will-
did you hear what I was telling Sarah about the other domain, other places that have found cameras?
No, not offhand.
Okay. Of course, the ones I mentioned in your domain, the Princess Theater and the Old Opera House were being observed. The gas station close to the bridge that you and Maddox's people took.
Yeah, it was at that point that I stepped away, so I didn't know
Okay.
if there was anything else
Uh,
that I missed.
Nobody has reported from those outer baronies where that one baron got whacked.
Okay.
Some of your people are out there, so they're probably looking specifically tonight.
Right.
But nobody's reported anything from out that way yet.
Okay.
And there's no information on anything cam related,
Mm-hmm.
other than that one camera that's in your domain that is pointed at the hospital. And now you found these cameras out here.
Right. Okay.
Several of the houses, the doors are like still blocked off with police tape.
Okay, he'll make note of that, and he will head back, and he'll sort of continue on his walk and take a sort of meandering, kind of circuitous route to the bank.
Okay. Yeah, so Egidio was probably the first person to get there, but Emma's probably not too far behind him.
I was gonna say she would have probably checked on for cameras on her walk there. It blanked on me. With all
Okay.
the other camera talk.
Go ahead and give me wits awareness.
I only got like a 3 on wits awareness.
3. You don't spot anything.
Okay.
But yeah, the two of you aren't there too awful long before Kyle shows up. I think you're muted, Jeremy.
Right, muted. Egito's taking like a circuitous route to get to the office, just because he knows there's cameras watching. So he's just
Well, none of the cameras spotted were pointing specifically at your office. Though that one on the bank that's looking across, might see the bank way off in the back, but it'd be too far for them to identify people. But an abundance of caution is probably called for.
Yeah. Yep. Better safe than dead.
We're already dead.
We're already dead.
Yeah, but you're up walking around dead. Jeremy means dead.
So, and this is what Egidio says when Emma walks in, just like on his own little private ottoman, like, so.
I'm guessing you got the email about all the other locations for the cameras.
Yep.
Find any
He
more?
says checking his phone for his email.
Yeah, I totally got that email.
Oh yeah.
You get that thing we sent you.
Mm-hmm.
Find any other ones?
Nothing by where I'm laying. Yeah.
I found some over by that street where we had a fight with the Bali.
Well, good thing we haven't fought by our havens, huh?
Yep.
Yep. Probably do not fight by our havens and make sure to be on our best behavior around our havens.
Should probably just be on our best behavior regardless.
Yeah.
Too much to ask for.
Feels
Ah.
dangerous right now.
Mm.
It's kind of the fact that it's not only pointing at us, but everyone and potentially Cam.
So do we want to have our emissary send them a message? Going, hey, looks like there might be some Inquisition presence in the area. Or hunters, at least.
I mean, they haven't figured that out. They're pretty dumb.
Yes, but if they haven't and they start something and that pulls more of the Inquisition into the city.
We could just see what our emissary, see what they know first before sending them back over with the info too. If any info's even been shared with them.
Yeah. Well then, guess we'll need to give somebody a call.
All right, so y'all calling y'all's emissary?
Yep.
Whose name I totally have not forgotten, and it's totally written on this sheet somewhere.
I just picture this sheet as like a flat desk version of a blackboard with a bunch of names and strings. And
The string would help you find stuff.
Mm-mm-mm.
This is
Fair.
mostly a bunch of randomly written names all over the place.
This is name Bartholomew.
Let's see, there's Wallace's emissary. There's Stafford's emissary. Who is your emissary? I know he was the ministry guy. Anyway, you call your emissary guy in.
Howdy.
Hello, Baron Luna. Emma, hope you're enjoying the wine I brought.
It'll be put to good use one day, I'm sure.
Baron Adams.
Emissary.
Just checking if you've heard anything on the other side of the border about the sudden camera attention that we're getting. Are they like actually in the? Did we call them into the office or are we calling them on the phone?
Probably call him into the office.
Yeah. Like this is a lot easier to probably do face to face.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to be.
Yeah.
And your domain's not that big, so, you know.
Yeah.
Assuming he's not over in cam territory doing something, he can get there fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You heard anything about the camera situation? If the cam are having as much fun with it as we are here.
They haven't told. No one I've spoken to on that side of the fence has said anything specific or definitive about it. They've beaten around the bush, asking some questions. You know, if we had seen anything unusual or, well, I wasn't sure exactly what they were probing, what information they were trying to get, until you notified us all about the cameras.
Hmm.
So
They may have been
I now assume that's what
longer.
they were hinting at.
They're probably having just as much fun with this as we are.
Hopefully.
Means we all have to be on good behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But will we?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as much as we're capable of. I don't feel like getting killed by a hunter or pretty much anything, really.
But I don't mean to change the subject or anything. But Stafford's emissary, whose name I was just looking at, Zara, or Miss Green, he'll call her Miss Green. She has been pressing me to get an answer from you about Stafford's offer. Now I've been following, orders and dragging it out as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's hunters, we're about to have a common enemy. Again. So.
That's all we need for peace is enough common enemies. Maybe we could we'll get the Lupine and the Inquisition to work together.
Please no.
We'd have better luck working with the Lupine.
That's well, I'm perfectly honest, it's a very gangrel thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kyle, mentally, in his head, all smug of, yeah, and I've already done it.
Even the gangrel were also the ones that coined the phrase "the great enemy" to describe them. So, yeah.
How long do you think we can keep putting them off?
Another week or two, and then they may get very demanding about getting an answer.
Yes, if they ask again, remind them of the current volatility of the area with the potential unknown watchers. We don't want to make any sudden shifts.
If they ask me more bluntly about the cameras, do you want me to tell them that we have found some, or?
I wonder if there's a way we could spin it to where they're just coming into the territory instead of having them placed in here in strategic spots.
Have they been placed in strategic spots?
Sort of. Just in places where there's been major breaches of masquerade.
Oh. That would make sense.
Wonder if ask them that Aldi's where everything went down. I'm sure maybe there's some facing there.
Perhaps. And when when the Princess Theater was attacked, that same night the old bank was attacked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's some of their territory.
Be, if nothing else, maybe not an olive branch, but something for them to mull over for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
That they should also check those areas as well if they have not already.
And if they think we're cooperating, they might give us a little more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not like it would be a surprising place for a camera to be. It's not like we're giving them anything secretive.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good gesture, even if it's something they've already thought of, already found.
Yeah. We can all keep the masquerade with quicker we can get the watchful eyes out of here.
Quite so.
I may make a trip across the road tonight then, and discuss some things with them.
Do be careful. There is one pointed at the hospital.
Ah, yes. Well, luckily we don't actually meet at the hospital, seeing as it's Stafford specifically that we have this arrangement with. Excuse me.
Out of character. Where did we do anything to Stafford yet?
Not yet.
We were
Okay.
going to, but stuff kept happening.
Yeah, Kyle had the birds follow him back to that old firehouse that someone's converted into a home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know we had done that, but I couldn't remember if we'd done anything to it.
No, you kept getting distracted.
Help.
You're so easily distracted. Can't stay focused. It's weird.
Well, the thing is, we did our part. It was on the other barons to do it after us, and they haven't done anything, so it's like they kept getting distracted. It's weird.
But alright, so your emissary takes his leave. While he was there, you got a text from Miles, basically saying everything seems to be quiet tonight.
Let's hope we can keep it that way. Is there anything we need to do tonight?
Something will happen to us.
Is there any way we could have maybe some birds looking for cameras?
I could ask.
Couldn't hurt.
I'm sure you have more bird food.
Yeah, they're crows. They don't care about food. They like the shiny.
It depends on the bird.
Pigeons, I would assume, would love just like unlimited breadsticks.
Yeah, but they're
Dumb.
Yeah. That's a word for it.
Are they? They've trained humans to feed them, so then.
Oh, that's cats.
Sometimes they're also dumb.
Mm-hmm. Right, I can ask some crows, see if work. What do you want? See if they will keep an eye out.
Alright, so you want to step outside and call the crows?
Not here. He'll do it later. Elsewhere where he knows there's no cameras watching.
Oh, I'm sure nobody would pay attention to a bunch of crows landing in a parking lot.
That's why he's not doing it here.
That'd be the time that you'd roll a crit. It'd be like every crow at 100 miles shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's take a walk and call some birds.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Alright. Just 1 second. I don't know why my sinuses have decided to start bothering me now.
Yeah, same.
Alright.
I forgot I just shorthanded the thing when I typed it into the sheet. Time to open up the PDF.
All right, so you're going a little walk.
Yeah, he's gonna go on a little walk.
Okay. Where you headed?
Where we haven't done anything masquerade breaching.
He's gonna disappear into some woods.
Okay. There are wooded areas, a wooded area in the domain.
Mhm.
Basically, all the all this back here, separating the mall from those homes the next street over.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
We won't
Just
stay on
saying,
that.
yeah,
We won't stay on that screen because the cameras are all messed up, and I don't feel like fixing them.
I was gonna say.
One. Yes.
Must be the Munchkin.
Uh-oh.
While y'all are on your walk, you get a message from Furman.
Yeah.
That basically that the yeah, Furman Dorsey, that was it. Nothing. It's nothing alarming. But him and his little club, him and the oh crap, what were they calling their club? Were they referring to it as the chemistry club?
Or science lab.
Science club, whatever it was. However it was that he was using it when messaging y'all. They're changing facilities again, and if you need him to, you can contact him, of course, but you probably won't see much of him for the next little bit. Unless there's a particular emergency or a particular something you need him for.
Came back.
That makes sense. Better for them to be safe than sorry.
So I do not get hungrier when I use Feral Whispers.
Okay.
And we'll put in the message back to Norman. If y'all need anything, you know how to get a hold of us.
Yes, ma'am. All right. And does Feral Whispers require a roll?
It does.
Okay.
Charisma plus animalism to determine if if the call's even answered, and then it's to perform a servant is manipulation and animalism. Yeah, it's 4 successes to call.
Okay. You have quite a few crows show up. It only takes several minutes, but they start trickling in.
Yeah. And he will ask them to look for, and he'll, before he went into the woods, he would have stopped by the mall and bought the same kind of camera that he's seen around, and bring that with him.
All right. I'm gonna roll a dice, even or odd, as to whether you got to the mall while it was still open, because it ain't stayed open real late during COVID,
Even.
and whether or not they have the same model.
Mhm.
All right, you said even.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled odd. They did not have the model in question.
Okay. Does it look similar though?
You could bring up a picture of one,
That's fair. Okay.
which, isn't as good as having the actual thing they can see, but,
Yeah. Okay. Gonna re-roll. That's better. 2 successes.
All right, that's to give them their instructions.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'll rouse my manipulation to add 2 more dice to that. Better. 4. But I do get hungrier, so I'll have to go hunting after this.
Okay. Difficulty depends on the task required.
Mm-hmm.
Having a bird keep an eye for anyone entering a park at night is difficulty 3. While ordering an animal to defend with their lives would be a 6.
Mm-hmm.
So they are going around looking for things that you showed them a picture of. So I'm going to say that's a difficulty. We'll go difficulty 4.
Okay, which I do meet.
Okay.
Barely. I had to rouse my manipulation to do it, but I do meet it.
Very good then. All right, so quite a few crows fly off.
Mhm.
Looking for the thing you showed a picture of, and mostly going to be looking around buildings because that's kind of where you told them they tend to be.
Mhm.
As you come out of the wooded area, you see a black sedan pulling away from the back of the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like one of the ones that you have seen Woodard use before.
Okay.
He just pulls off and heads over to the road.
Mm-hmm.
They don't stop. They don't seem to have spotted you or anything.
Right.
Windows are tinted, so you can't really tell who's in it.
He'll just keep an eye on it, follow its path until it leaves his sight range.
Okay. It cuts down to the side and basically gets out on that road, Danville Road, to the south of the domain.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the 2 roads you can exit the mall onto.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, he will. Is there a Wendy's in the domain?
In the
I don't
domain?
remember. Or close to it?
I think there was one close because they kept feeding Shiloh chicky nuggies.
That's the plan.
There's definitely one on the Beltline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not in the domain, but it's just down the. You head south on the belt line, but it's before you round the corner to where the Aldi's was.
Time for a 4 for 4 deal.
No, he's gonna stop and get a 6-pack of nuggets.
So yes,
I'm sure Shiloh is delighted.
you're literally wasting your money by not getting a 4 for 4 deal.
Yeah, but he's not feeding his dog a burger, fries, and nuggets.
That attitude.
So, yeah, he's gonna get some. Gonna get some nuggets.
Hashtag not a sponsor.
Yeah. And yeah, and then he'll head back to the. He'll send a text to Emma. Is like, "Are you still at work?"
How long has it been?
Oh,
About
let's
15, 20
see.
minutes.
It would taking that long for the birds to show for all the birds to show up from his call, probably. So probably more like 30, 40 by now.
Yeah. What you need?
Mind if I drop Shiloh off with some food? I got some work to do.
Is the GDO still there?
Egidio truly probably didn't go for the walk or walk on his own. He just kind of stayed at the office.
What's over, GDO? I am a glorified dog sitter.
You were like that before you turned.
That's fair. Just text back. Yeah, bring Shiloh over.
Thank you.
Don't do anything stupid.
I'll do my best.
Not typing. She's not typing it, but yeah, we're probably gonna have to go do something. So
Yeah, well, at least if he does it in camp territory, that there'll be cameras over there and not in here.
you're right, though.
All right, so you get back to the office. Shiloh is happy to walk
Weaponize
in,
the
assuming you
mattress.
haven't given him the food already. So he'll happily follow you in.
He'll present the Wendy's bag, and will tell Shiloh with Pharaoh Whispers for free because he can do that. Stay here with Emma. She'll feed you tonight the snack for being a good boy.
I should probably go with you.
I will be back shortly, and then you will be with me the rest of the night.
He doesn't seem to be real sure what short means.
I'm just going to get myself some food.
Could be 5 years or 5 million days
Yeah, dogs famously have no
or 5
concept of
minutes.
He'll just tell him, it's like, I'm just gonna go get myself some food.
He can help you get food.
You know where the really good chicken nuggets are?
time. Yeah, we were just there.
Dad, you could have gotten the 4 for 4.
Kyle pauses and just.
What deep conversation are you having with your dog?
What conversation are you having with your dog to have that expression?
Yeah. This is a
You
philosophical
know what? Never
debate.
mind. I'll be back later, and then he leaves with Shiloh, feeding him nuggets.
Leans back in chair, puts feet up, continues to kind of keep an eyeball what's going on with just the flow of information in from other baronries, making sure it gets passed on.
Gidio's just steepling his fingers and it's like, he's definitely gonna get in trouble here.
Oh yeah, no, there's probably gonna be trouble, but
one of the brute squad gets back to you. One of the ones that's stationed over the outer domain temporarily. They have found a camera set up at the landscaping place that exploded.
that makes sense. gonna get someone to double check that if there's one pointed at that U-Haul, or would the one pointed at the hospital cover that?
You know, you think about it. The one at the one on top of the Waffle House would probably catch both those locations.
Okay. She's just gonna kind of anything that's been masquerade breaching with during their entire stay as Baron. She's just gonna go through list the locations. Well, not like list, but be like, hey, can you check this area? Can you check this area if we haven't already checked it?
Basically, it's like you're getting in touch with Miles and having him send his people out to check.
Yeah, just kind of
The ones around the
making
domain,
sure.
at least. Yeah.
Yeah, and if there's ones outside of the domain, she'd pass that on to the proper people and be like, hey, if they haven't already found one there? Pretty much thinking it's anywhere something masquerade breaching may have happened, even not involving us, but maybe involving their own people. Probably have them check where we had that big fight where we found out Sammy was a were-coyote.
Worth it.
Yeah, Miles can send somebody out there.
Yeah, just anywhere that's been masquerade breaching, just to cover all of our ducks.
Let's see, they would
Still
send
pretty
somebody
good.
over where Kincaid and Furman had their little fight that got caught on camera. Let's see, Duba's masquerade breach was in Cam territory.
Yeah, we're not gonna offer up that one.
The big werewolf fight was in Cam territory.
The warehouse getting set on fire was that in like no man's land?
You're talking about the one with the that Sammy was
Sammy?
involved in? Yeah, that's out. That's that may be outside. I believe that's outside the city limits, though within the police jurisdiction. So yeah.
The one where, and I can't remember the Malkavian Baron's name. Autumn? Or Autumn? No, it was August. Was that guy?
Sebastian Cologne.
Yes, the car they sent off to the danger. Did that car explode?
The police report said it was a one-person car crash and the car caught on fire.
Probably just to be safe. Maybe send him a note about that. If it's not a space listed. It's not quite a masquerade breach, but it'd be something worth covering ducks about.
Oh, you're not going to send one of your people south into Hartsel?
Nah. That's his domain. I ain't be like, hey, where you sent that car, you may want to check to see, have someone check to see if there's any cameras in that area. Of course, in a coded text.
Yes. Grace just sends you, which is the emissary for Wallace, the Wallace Barony. She's kind of that was in Hartsel. I don't think any of us need to go down there to check that.
That was down there. I'm fine.
Understood. Just went to pop it out as a possible awareness.
And while she's been keeping up, and she's been keeping up with some of the texting back and forth everybody's been doing. They've been looking around their how would you put
Baronry.
it? Well, she wouldn't put it like that in a text.
Checking the
They've been
proper
looking
ones.
around their area and have not seen anything unusual.
They're pretty quiet though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just keep an eyeball out. I'll let you know if anything else happens.
And Kyle, what are you doing?
He is going to go hunt.
All right. Hunting in the domain, or
He's going to see if he can't find an animal to hunt from.
Okay.
And since Shiloh mentioned he can help, he's going to have Shiloh help him hunt.
Okay. Canines hunt in packs for a reason.
Oh wait, I'm on my computer. I can look stuff up on anything.
I'm not sure what you want me to roll for.
Alright, so you're hunting basically probably in animal form. I don't get you really
Roll
have
for
to.
that.
Do it now.
I'll have to make another rouse check for that.
Oh, okay. That might be counterproductive then.
Yeah.
So hunting an animal. Be either animal kin or survival.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with survival.
Okay.
And I'm going to say wits for this,
Mm-hmm.
as it's less just pouncing on something as it is tracking it, and then with Shiloh kind of using Shiloh to help flush it out.
Uh-huh.
He circles around and kind of drives it towards you, sort of thing.
Would I get any extra dice with Shiloh helping me hunt?
I'll give you an extra 2 dice.
Okay. Alrighty then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, sorry, 4. That one was cocked. 4 dice.
So you said it was 4?
4, yes. That 5th one was cocked.
Oh, okay. Just making sure there's no specific rules. Okay, yeah, I don't see it. There may be specific rules for getting help from people, but I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
right, so
think it actually is a 2 dice bonus.
it may be.
So-
I mean,
You're doing the good thing, the right thing.
or I've read over it at some point, and yeah, I just don't remember
Yep.
where it was. All right, so how many successes total did you get?
4.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
E.
So yeah, y'all managed to let's see. We'll say you hit one of the wooded areas, like just a little bit north of the domain.
Mm-hmm.
I have personally seen deer back in that area before.
Okay.
So yeah, you. It's not like a big 8-point buck or nothing, but Shiloh manages to flush out a deer, runs it towards you. You manage to jump out and pounce on it.
I love this game specifically because we can do real world stuff like that and be like, yeah, I've seen deer back there. I know they exist.
It's a very surprised
hit
deer.
my
It's been
car.
it's being chased by a dog 1 second, and then there's a person pouncing on it. Not used to that at all. I'm sorry, Sarah. Were you saying something?
Yeah, I know there's a deer back there. Think hit my car.
That was driving around to Huntsville. That happened to me. I can tell you where there's some deer around Huntsville too.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say a deer. You can get 2 back from a deer.
It was usually to 2.
Large animal.
Well, a large animal is a horse, but a medium size is a raccoon, a dog, or a coyote. Yeah, I'm gonna put a deer in with a horse rather than just the dog.
Yeah, so he's gonna select 2 hunger and get down to 1 off the deer.
Shiloh very awkwardly tries to eat some of the deer. You know, domesticated dog, big animal. He doesn't usually eat something this big. You know, he's just a little awkward getting into it,
Mm-hmm.
but he is enthusiastic.
Chicken nugget tastes weird.
Well, he's just so used to having his food like diced up and handed to him, or in convenient bite-sized chunks. But he likes this hunting. Y'all should hunt more often.
I'd have to.
All right. So while they're having their little hunting escapade,
Mm-hmm.
there's a knock at the front door of the office.
Jiddu
At the
instinctually
door?
goes for the gun.
What was?
Not at the door that everyone else usually comes in.
No, it's the front door.
She's got cameras. She's gonna see who's at her front door.
There's a young lady standing out there.
Familiar lady?
Pardon?
Familiar lady?
Roll me. Give me a straight intellect roll or intelligence roll.
Intellect?
Yep.
I'm good at that.
Same.
This is more of a strict memory thing than anything else.
1 success. Sorry, 2 successes.
2? Okay. And Emma?
3 success.
Okay. Egidio, you're like, she looks familiar. You're positive she's a kindred of the domain. Emma, you know you've seen her at the mall before.
Seen her at the mall as in works for Woodard?
Correct. Like, you've never spoken to her directly. She's just been kind of a, you know, Woodard's got people. She's just one of the people Woodard you've seen hanging around
Okay.
Woodard.
That's because she knows people can mess with minds, yada yada yada. She'll look at Jiddu. It's one of Woodard's people, but it's not one that I think we've dealt with before. Keep an eyeball, and she'll get up and go to the front. Opens the door. Hello. I'm sorry we're closed, but can I help you?
Yes, Miss Hawthorne. Miss Ada sent me over. I need to give you a message about a -1.
Okay. She's the one that is. Okay, let me know who it is. She's typically the one that keeps census.
Is there a reason she's not doing it?
Are you letting her in the building?
She's kind of talking through the door right now. If she led with that. She's not letting her in.
Lady kind of glances around like she wants to make like she's making sure there's nobody else like close to her to listen. I got a message from Ada. Her and Miss Woodard are out on an errand, you know, out of the domain for a few hours at least. I think they'll be back later.
They're busy people.
But apparently someone notified her, and then she wanted me to come over here and tell you.
Okay.
I'm listening in because this is like 2 feet away from me, right?
I picture there being like a front area.
Oh.
With a big window
Right,
where the
but-
big windows are, and then
Didn't say follow.
probably the next
Yeah.
step back is probably where y'all do most of y'all's at night because you can kind of close it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean you could easily have walked to the front door with them, I guess.
Yeah. No,
She said
I'm
follow me.
staying hidden, but I am listening in.
Okay.
This is unlike Ada, so I kind of want to do some sort of insight is a literal skill in Vampire the Masquerade, so I want to see if this person, like
Get a read on the person.
getting her. I want to get a vibe check on the person.
Yeah.
Can I roll for vibe check?
Not necessarily rolling to. This is what I do with insight checks. I don't do. Are they lying to me? I do. What's the vibe here?
Yeah, I'd like to get on a roll for vibe check.
What would you like me to roll?
Wits inside. Oh, no, this would be more social, wouldn't it?
Insight's an actual skill, so that's a given. The 3 ones I can think of are all the same dice pool for me, so because I'm thinking either manipulation, wits, or intelligence.
Let's go with manipulation.
Okay.
That's
Insight
kind of
manipulation.
yes. That's kind of the social equivalent of wits, I suppose.
That is. I'm gonna reroll 2 dice. Booyah! Three successes.
2 success.
All right. The general feeling you're getting from her is that she's a little nervous talking to y'all.
And that's fair.
But is that because we're barons, or is that because something else? She's hiding something, or isn't like saying everything up front yet?
Tone of voice and the way she keeps glancing around, like like we're just standing on the street corner talking about this stuff.
Okay.
Let's step inside. We'll.
Okay. I mean, you're getting the impression that she's nervous talking to you and trying to be kind of
Being
secretive.
outside's making it worse. Yeah. Step back. Just step back with us. Ada wouldn't have sent you if she didn't trust you. And I trust Ada, so. Like, locks the door behind her, rearms anything up towards the front that was armed. Do you have a name for the this one?
Blake Eaton.
Blake Eaton.
Does that
Are
name
they
ring
another
any
of the
bells?
Duskborn?
No, you're pretty sure he's not one of Dustborn. But there had been a few nights earlier. There had been a. She tells you there had been a slight kerfluffle with Blake. Technically outside the domain. Some of us are having a hard time hunting with these current situation that the kind are dealing with.
People are staying a bit more sequestered.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Please tell me Egidio doesn't say that out loud.
No, he was saying that out loud this time.
That voice,
This time.
that critique just comes out of the darkness. But apparently Mr. Blake got a little desperate and just kind of kicked in someone's front door. There was some gunplay.
He ended up dead.
Oh no, this was a couple nights ago. Some of Miles's people, swept in and stopped it from being massacred. There's a police report about an attempted, break in, but that was like 3 nights ago, and now we had a friend of his. A ghoul. Apparently, he had a ghoul that has reported to Ada that that when he went by, or when she went by that night or tonight, his haven had been broken into.
We just know it was broken into. We found proof of demise.
Oh yes, yes, he was decomposing rather quickly. He might have been older than he was letting on. We had assumed that he was just a neophyte, but
we need to find a way to get food quick.
it would be useful to
And for people to possibly hunt an alternate means just for the time being until this whole thing sorts itself out.
yes, yes. I know Miss Woodard's been helping some of us, but
Thank you for letting me know. Please pass on to Ada. Thanks for letting us know of the situation quickly as well.
oh yes, of course, of course. I'm just I'm just a messenger because she was this caught her after she had left.
Yeah. We.
I believe she was going to contact Miles.
Make sure that it was cleaned up.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell him to keep an eyeball out, even if it wasn't masquerade breaching. Just with everything else going on in the domain at the current time, we may want to be a little bit more vigilant about anything that could be even a hint of masquerade breaching. Just because we're being observed a bit closer.
Yes, ma'am. I'll carry that message to him. And then she like stands awkwardly for a minute, like she's waiting to be dismissed.
You're free to go. Don't worry about it. We'll try and figure out something too with the food situation. Get with the other barons as well.
Oh yes, ma'am. Yeah, she seems a little relieved.
She'll also let her know about, please, if it's on Kindred business, come through the back door, or at least knock on the back door and lets her out through the back door.
Oh, okay.
Front.
She's like,
Have a good one.
she gets a little
That's what
flustered,
Judy
saying,
says
"Oh,
in the
I should have thought about that." And then she hears, "I have a good one out of nowhere," and she kind of jumps. Oh, Baron Luna.
You're doing great. Keep up the good work.
And as she on the way, you see her glancing around at the rest of the shadows, like, I know there's another invisible one around here somewhere.
The Nos is otherwise occupied currently. There's no one else here. Don't worry.
I'm just really good at hiding.
Then she slips out the back.
Yeah. So, Julia, would it be out of question to potentially take over more of the blood bank, or do you have any ideas for pushing into the hospital?
I all but own the blood bank. Like, I'm the highest donor. My name's not on the paperwork, but they have a wing named after me at this point.
Just trying to figure out a way to shift that in our favor for people that may be a bit hungry. I know not everyone can, drink from blood bags, but it would be help for some of the youngsters.
Some of the ones that get... I bet there's enough people out there who, want to play their best, the vampire Lestat fantasy, and just like... But sometimes you don't gotta.
Yeah, I was like, I've never watched that movie.
It's a book.
I've also not read the book. Hey, it wasn't on the required reading list for you've become a vampire. Here's what to know.
Is there any pop culture in there? Anything at all? Queen of the Damned?
Not. I mean, I know generally, but she's like wasn't really my thing.
It wasn't my thing either, but I still consumed the media because it was available.
I'll add it to my list of things to do. Right underneath the cameras and they making sure people eat.
Anyway, we obviously can't have a class because that's breaking the masquerade. However, what if we did a class?
What kind of class? How to drink blood from a bag? How to hunt, this way or what?
All of the above. We can't have it in writing, but so we have to tell the tale over and over and over again. God, now I know what teachers feel like.
It's definitely something we need to possibly look into, or even alternate means of feeding. I mean, there's always a deer season.
There's cemeteries.
There are cemeteries, but why would we be? She like gives the "I'm not following you" look. Are we catching people while they're grieving, or?
You can catch people while they're grieving. You can catch the freshly deceased and or buried.
They would be embalmed potentially.
Maybe.
Something to put a pin in. Do we have? Are there any cattle farms around here?
Indicator? That's a GM question.
Outside, not not. I don't think there'd be any in the city limits. Definitely outside the city limits.
Probably the farther out barrenries.
Or out in the no man's land between cities.
Mm.
It'd be
There's
something
definitely some out there.
something to consider. It's not everyone's favorite hunting style, but it's either that or a masquerade breach, or the beast
Or
just
they get into another gunfight.
or the beast just taking the reins. Something to consider. 'Cause it's not like we can take the hospital right now. That would be the best idea, but I don't think we have the forces to. Something to bring up at the next Baron meeting.
Why haven't? Well, there's a masquerade bridge, I guess, but surely there's something we can do about that thing just looming over us like a fucking tower.
Only
We
someone
need
had
the
C4
people,
and a
we
rocket
need the
launcher.
resources.
If all the but we know there's people over there. I can walk there.
We can all walk there. Just we have to figure out a way to do it without drawing the wrath of God knows what. Something to consider and figure out, probably sooner rather than later. When probably reach out to other barons, see if they're having similar issues.
About that time, Kyle, once you and Shiloh are done hunting and feeding, uh, would you be heading back to the office or going somewhere else?
Honestly, he'll probably head back to where he called the birds from,
Okay.
so they could find him.
Okay. When you get back, there's a couple of birds already there. Give me a wits awareness roll for the birds.
Okay. Scroll. Animals. Bird of prey. 6 dice. Damn. 6 successes.
Nice.
Hmm?
So as you're talking to these birds, more of them are starting to show up.
Mhm.
Not all of them because you didn't really give them a time limit or anything.
Yeah.
But some of them are, of course, reporting the cameras you'd already found. Some of them are reporting cameras that from where they say they're at, you'll have to double check, but it might have just been the regular security cameras.
Okay.
But one, well, he didn't see anything. He got distracted,
Mm.
and proceeds to describe getting distracted by a coyote.
Hello?
Hello.
But
He'll ask where that was.
south.
Lovely. Okay.
And let's try to think how yeah, he just takes you to the south because crows have a pretty good idea of direction. South, not in kind of your territory, because they basically started in the domain and then we're kind of spreading out.
Yeah.
One of the last ones to show up while you're there talks about he had found one sitting on a fence, like it was set on top of a fence post, basically. He had just landed to take a good look at it when one of the houses in the area suddenly it was suddenly on fire. Big whoosh. He flew away at that point. So. But he's pretty sure the camera he's looking at was the kind you were looking for, or the thing you were looking for. He was pretty sure that's what it was. The fire was very alarming. So
he will send a text to Emma. And did the bird give a general area of where he was?
He can give you basic, cardinal directions. So it'd been west and a little north.
Okay. He'll sort of do a kind of general area and then fire emoji question mark.
Emma, you get a text from Miles.
Okay.
He sent some people by to check on check on something Ada had told him about. And it was a bad situation. Those people may not work for him anymore.
Permanently no longer working for you, or just probationary?
Oh no, they were terminated. He can swing by the if you want, he can swing by the office and talk about it in more detail.
Yeah, she'll put a kettle on.
And just right after you get just right after you finish up with him, Kyle's message hits.
Texting back to Miles. Was it a fiery termination? Or was it a little bit more subdued?
Fiery would definitely be one way to describe it.
Swing on by.
Uh,
She'll text back to Kyle. Yeah, I've heard some rumors of some fiery fights going on tonight. People getting a bit heated.
Response is 3 bird emojis. And camera.
Use your words.
No, three bird emojis and a camera.
Ah, it's the birds are not real, mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, they're just drones, actually.
Yep, government drones.
Like, swing by the office. Miles is coming by. He's bringing his cards by for a round or two.
Okay.
all right, so
The-
go ahead.
The response is 2 thumbs up.
All right, so if Kyle, if you beeline for the office, you'll get there before Miles does. When Miles walks in, yeah, the leather jacket he's wearing is singed on one side.
Are you good?
Like the side of his face is a little red. I'm better than my guys.
How many we lose?
One for sure. I thought I heard some glass breaking, so maybe one of them ran out the back.
Shit.
He'd have probably been on fire, so who knows. I've got somebody else seeing if they can track him down, so he doesn't. Well, I mean, if he was inside when it went off. I'm getting ahead of myself. We were checking out the Ada contacted me, said we'd lost somebody. Blake, something or other.
Yeah, she sent someone over to let us know too.
But she gave me an address. Me and a couple of guys went over there to check the place out. Blake had a ghoul that had alerted us to finding him. Gonna need to decide what to do with that ghoul now too. Now I think about it. Can't have one of those loose just running around.
Unfortunately, the safest thing may be to quietly send them to a farm upstate.
It's always an option. Anyway, me and a couple of guys showed up to, clean up, and we were walking in. They were a little bit ahead of me. About the time I just going up the steps, the entire house just erupted into flame. Not like a big explosion. You ever back when you were alive, you ever burn a brush pile?
Yeah.
The way you do it around here, you tend to douse it with gasoline so that when you throw the match on, it woofs. That's kind of what the house did. Like I said, I heard some breaking glass, so maybe one of them frenzied and ran out the back. I don't know. I was a couple blocks away before I really got control of myself. Anyway.
Kyle back.
Pardon?
I say if Kyle's back, is he at? Did you want to ask about if there was a fence?
I don't think he'd be back by this point.
Well, you were closer to the office than Miles was.
Well, that's fair.
Because where you called the bird was right behind the mall, so.
Fair enough.
looking over at if Kyle is there looking over at him. You sent me a message about fire about the same time I got a message from Miles.
Yes. One of the birds I was talking to, I had them out looking for cameras. They found a lot. And they said one of them, when they got there, they were distracted by a house catching on fire. Hence why I asked.
The house Miles tells you the house Blake was in didn't have a fence, but his neighbor did have, a little chain link fence around. One of those little above waist high.
Yeah, I said they found a camera on the fence.
Like it messed up so bad he revealed his haven.
He'll also point out that he'll point out several locations, best as he could tell anyway, where the birds said they found them. Considering birds, it's not gonna be perfect. But
Yeah, Miles pulls out his phone and pulls up the address. Google Maps it.
yeah, he'll put out, like, at the very least, general, like, areas given the descriptions he got.
Yeah, the bird had said northeast, and yeah, this house would be northeast of where the bird was talking to you at.
Okay.
Technically outside the domain, but in that kind of border region that y'all still kind of keep tabs on.
Yeah.
The camera was there before the fire went off.
Yeah.
So they managed to track somebody back, killed them, and then literally set up a trap in case any of us came to investigate.
It would appear such, which I do not like one bit.
That's makes me think we're dealing with somebody that's experienced with dealing with us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Blake's a nobody, so they're just picking off whoever they happen to catch wind of, I guess.
Could his goal have been compromised?
We could question him and find out. Or question her and find out.
Possibly it'd be a route to look into.
I'm sure Ada would help me with that.
Yeah, the young lady that came over to let us know about the -1, let us know that she was probably out a good part of the night tonight, but definitely something to get her involved in.
Yeah, somebody I'll get some of my people out and make sure we get the ghoul in hand. I'll send a couple of the guys back over to check for that camera. Oh wait, no, the fire department will be showing up.
Yeah. Give it a little bit of time, but maybe get in contact with Walter, have someone with a bit of sneak, or she looks over to Chidio if you want to go, but we would probably need to be pretty careful about this.
Miles kind of, almost has the Homer Simpson moment. Of course, I forgot. I'm not thinking about the fact that I've got Nos working for me now.
Send the Nos in every time. I'll go this time, just because morbid curiosity. Quite literally morbid curiosity.
Be exceptionally mindful.
The shadows go over Regidio.
The first sniff of danger or being compromised, get out. We don't need to have a -10 tonight.
Oh man, that's something I should have done.
Considering me 9 vampires in one, or if we've lost that many people tonight.
We've lost 1, possibly 2 tonight. I don't want to lose any more.
8 vampires. That's your limit. Got it. And
Just
then
giving you can't see the look I'm doing, but you can imagine it. Kind of the over glasses.
I can hear it in your voice.
Good, good.
And then Egidio will and
Looks at.
yeah.
She's gonna give Miles a once over. How bad does he look?
His clothes, like I said, he's a little, you can see he's a little crispy on one side.
Masquerade breaching crispy.
No. His jacket looks like it took more damage than anything else on him. It's one of those where he needs to go home and change clothes, but people would look at him and go, "Dude, what happened to you?" But not like freak out and try to rush him to the hospital or anything.
Not something that would be masquerade breaching. So.
No.
All right. If you guys hear anything about the other guy that was a little bit further in, let me know.
Oh, of course.
See what we can do to get them patched up if they need patched up.
Yeah, he'll go. Well, once he makes his report, he'll take his leave and go out and start trying to handle stuff. And Egidio, you were going to head out to the house.
Yep. I'm gonna be quiet from the jump. So I am not only activating my shadow cloak, I'm also activating silence of death. Doesn't do anything except it makes my footsteps quieter, which is mainly what I'm going for here. But yeah, you'll start headed that way.
Okay. So it's it's a 2, 3, 4 miles away.
That's fine. It's a good walk.
Cutting in a straight line. So if you were staying on the street or driving around, you'd be looping all over the place. But you're going all stealthy, just cutting through yards and tree lines and whatnot.
Yep.
You can you see the flashing lights of the fire trucks before you get there.
Yep.
Probably some police on hand. There's several people from the neighborhood out, standing on like the other side of the street, or well away and out of the way. But
lose, yeah.
Several people with their cell phones out. There's a few of them where the people are clustered close together, but most of them are like keeping some distance from each other.
That's good. And is the building still burning, or has it been like largely taken care of?
There's no big open flames now. It's still smoldering and smoking some. They're still spraying some water on it.
My hackles will be raised, but I'm not necessarily gonna run from Roy Shrek.
No. It's not enough to trigger that. Okay. If somebody threw you into the ashes, maybe.
If I step into it, I have the power over it.
But and you can see where there, when the fire whooshed up, there was obviously some force outwards. Because there is some like glass that was blown out into the yard or whatnot. But,
yeah.
And you see the police standing around talking to the fire captain.
Do I have a scientific opinion about what happened besides what I know? What happened? Like, what type of device triggered it? Just off of what I've seen so far.
Wrong person. Let's see. You've got a little bit of technology.
I do.
Give me an intelligence technology.
All right. I'll ask again because it might work. Would my specialty in forensics come into play here? I know it's in medicine, but like
forensics, I would say not for this one.
Okay. Thought I'd ask. Ooh, cool. Don't need it. 5 successes on a crit.
Okay, well, this definitely wasn't C4. C4 didn't produce this kind of fire without,
Right.
uh, some kind of firebomb, maybe. You seem to recall looking over some stuff online before, uh, or maybe back when you were mortal, you had to work on the bodies pulled out of a fire,
Yep.
This kind of reminds you of like your kind of classic gas leak explosion. I mean,
At least it looks masquerade hiding.
but it's like you don't think for a second that some sort of accidental gas leak happened, but
Sure.
it might have been
But as long
disguised as
as
that,
they,
or they might have rigged it up to be that.
as long as the officers think that, that's what matters.
Give me a wits awareness, see what the officers are talking about.
Yeah. I will do that. Four successes on a crit. Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry. That's 5. Oh, I had a success on the blood dice. Another 5.
He goes back. You go back to rolling your regular dice, and suddenly you're on fire.
I literally was not on fire, actually.
Uh,
I rolled 1 success earlier.
so yeah, that's basically what the fire chief is saying at the moment. Looks like it may have been a gas leak. Obviously we'll have to read around and make sure that it wasn't something. Uh, uh, but they're sure they have found 2 bodies.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's also saying there seems to be some extra bones. So it might have been 30 people.
That piques Egidio's interest.
Uh, go ahead and give me your stealth roll.
Yep.
Since your ability is not straight
Being able to do
invisibility.
this. All right. 1, 2, 3, 5 successes.
Okay, that's going to be enough that none of these normal folk are going to notice you.
Yeah.
So you slip up to that neighboring house. They usually the one house got a chain link fence.
Yep.
And you notice, there's a little cluster of looky-loos. Some of them are actually leaning on the fence in question. But you start looking at the top of the fence post, and you don't see a camera.
Good.
But the looky-loos are like basically right where would be a good spot to put one if you were going to watch that house.
You'll put a pin in that.
So the fire department keeps working. Like I said, it was smoldering still a little bit when you got there, but they're just dumping more water on it.
I think Egidio wants to get enter the burning building while an or smoldering building while an active investigation is going on. I think he thinks he's better than them.
All right, so you're going to slip over into the building?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just keep using that 5 you rolled earlier for your shadow ability. All right, you do your forensics roll.
All right. Intelligence medicine?
Yes, if you're looking at the bodies, yes.
Yep. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Let's go. My second best pool. That is gonna be 4 successes.
Okay. You find There are two of the bodies that are more or less whole.
Mhm.
And from what little bit you can tell of how they were dressed, what's left of their clothing, that was probably Miles's guys.
Yeah, the more preserved ones are more likely to be Kindred.
They're pretty burned up. I mean, like more burned up than a normal person would necessarily be,
Sure.
but maybe not by enough to really trigger any real suspicion. So his hope of one of his guys might have busted out the back window or something. Yeah, probably not. That was probably just the initial
The boom.
boom, knocking some glass out.
Yeah.
The extra bits
Yep.
that they mentioned, that strikes you as you probably had an already decaying Kindred that then got hit and scattered by the fire.
Interesting.
So the body they were there to clean up probably.
Egidio, very quietly, because silence of death is like a loud noise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna like mutter this into like an audio note in his phone. Like forensic people do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I forget the name of the job. Wow.
I know coroner.
Coroner, that's the one.
Yeah.
Making his own little coroner notes.
One of the police begins addressing the looky-loos. Basically like, okay, y'all probably need to go back home.
Show's over.
It's under investigation. We really don't know what happened. Somebody in the crowd is asking if it was a gas leak. It's one of the possibilities, but under investigation. We have somebody on the way to turn the gas off to the neighborhood until it can be all checked out.
Do I, before any match is lit here, which is probably going to be the trouble that comes here in a little bit, do I see, or do I just hear the gas going? Because surely it's still like going somewhere.
Give me a wits awareness.
Two successes.
You don't hear any gas.
I smell it.
You can still smell a little lingering.
Okay.
But you glance around and like the gas meter thing on the side of a house.
Mm-hmm.
It's still there. So maybe somebody showed up on the scene and thought to turn it off. To the house. And the looky-loos are starting to break up a little bit. People are going back to their houses.
Before the police start coming my way, the last thing Egidio wants to do is find the weapon. Find the weapon if it or whatever piece of like that explosive device that or ignition or whatever happened to make the boom.
All right. Would that be a straight wits awareness, or is there some sort of investigation thing I could use? Oh, there is an investigation.
Yeah.
Give me a wits investigation.
Alrighty. I will rouse. This is important to him, so he's going to rouse. Gets hungrier. That's fine. To raise my. You said wits?
Yes.
Storyteller?
What was that?
You said wits?
Yes, wits.
Alright, so I roused. I got hungrier, so I'm going to increase my wits for this.
Okay.
So by 2, and then investigation. That is 4 successes.
So you do a quick little tour through the house, sticking to the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lot of damage inside the house, but the overall basic structure is going to have to be demolished, but it's probably not going to fall down on its own tonight anyway.
What he's banking on.
But you get to the kitchen. The stove is just like peeled back on itself. Uh, though that by itself shouldn't have been enough to set the entire house off.
Yeah.
Looking inside the stove, you find remnants of what you think could have been used to ignite the. It's charred up and busted up and stuff, but it's not something that belongs in the stove.
I'll just
It's some kind of device
put that
that's in
the
there.
bag.
But let's see. Other than that, you said you had 4 successes.
Yep.
You find a couple of other little spots where there were some gas lines that was like they might have been kind of nicked open. You can't be 100% sure, but it may be that they had the igniter, if you want to call it that, in the stove already filled with gas, and then they may have made a few little leaks elsewhere in the house to kind of have the house already full and ready to go, and then that would go off in the oven, bust out.
And there's for sure no cameras.
Not inside though.
From what I've seen, not inside.
And you didn't see any on the fence post outside, but there were a bunch of people sitting around the fence post. So.
Right. I think Egidio grabs sweeps up the remnants of that the gas bomb in the stove, and puts it in his go bag TM, and then proceeds to fuck off. I think he's got enough information.
Okay. So yeah, as you get out there, the last looky loo, one or two are still standing on their porches, but most of the looky loos that had gotten closer are all dispersing. Most of them are, walking back to houses and stuff. But you see, one guy gets in a car and cranks it up, so
yep,
and drives off.
I used the cover of the car cranking up to leave in a haze, as if I needed it. And then I'll head back, and he's been making like voice notes the whole time. Like, yeah.
If it was TV, it'd be stage whisper so you could hear it.
Yeah. Was the building 1-story or 2-story?
1-story house, probably with an attic, but 1-story.
Okay. And I didn't see any other deceased besides the 3 Kindred.
Correct.
Okay, cool. And he heads back off to the office.
All right. Over at the office, what was there anything the rest of you were doing, or you were just waiting, or were you just going to wait for Egidio to get back with hopefully with the camera?
With the camera.
Keeping tabs on that, and maybe reaching out to Ada and letting her know, hey, potential. Wait, did Miles already said he'd reached out to Ada about it, or no?
No, he had been talking about reaching out to Ada to question the ghoul, potentially.
She'll reach out to Ada with something like, hey, potential people not being able to RSVP to that big party.
Cool.
Miles will get in touch with you soon. He has some questions about someone that would be showing up.
You get a message back. She'll be on the lookout for that. Feels like I can't leave for 5 minutes.
She just puts like same. Also keep an eyeball out. I'm trying to figure out a stealthy way to say there's cameras even in places before events are happening.
That's gonna be difficult to get specifically across.
When you get back in town, swing on by. I have something that got sent to you here with your name on it by accident.
She's kind of stuck where she's at for the next couple of hours, but she'll beeline for the office. Or Well, yeah, office is pretty safe to say. But yeah, she'll be line for your office once she's back.
Give your boss our apologies for taking up any of her or your time.
Oh no, this is probably more important. Don't worry about
And she's just like, this is getting out of hand. This is spiraling very quickly. From cameras to housing that's exploding, with cameras already in front of the houses. We
Oh.
need to figure that out, and we need to figure out a potential food situation for people that can't hunt in their usual methods.
Well, there's always the neutral territory out in the sort of lesser developed areas of the city.
Yeah, that's where the fire was.
Yes. I've been branching out myself. So work, go away. So I think I'm doing. I think at the very least I'll be okay. Just need to refine the technique, so to speak.
Ideas to pass on to the others. And just kind of killing time until the Judeo gets back.
You get a message from your emissary.
Okay.
Discuss that matter we discussed. I discussed it with our neighbors. They are definitely having the same issues we're having. Some very nosy people apparently have rolled into town. Some of the other locations that we had discussed are indeed being put upon by these nosy people. And there's like a dollar sign emoji in there, so you figure, okay, the bank is being watched. And there's also the
maybe like a music note for the opera house.
Well, the opera house is that's Anart. Y'all know about it. This is information he's gotten about the cam territory.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a hospital emoji or what emoji would be good for a hospital. Oh no, there is a hospital emoji. Okay.
I say there's a hospital emoji or even just like a red cross.
But yeah, so you get a dollar sign and a hospital emoji.
Sometimes people go looking for stories even before they're happening.
You just kind of get back a from that.
She's just gonna leave it at that. let him suss that one out. At least just for now.
But so yeah, you're like texting people back and forth, and eventually Egidio makes his way back in.
Anything good?
Egidio?
Either one of you? Anything good?
See, at that point. Oh, I didn't know if I was in yet.
You've just gotten back.
Oh, and yeah, Ichigo enters with something in the way. Oh,
you're singing. Hi. That's either good or bad.
And then he'll play back his audio recordings where it's like, 3 victims, 2 more recent than the other. Improvised explosive device in the oven, likely ignition. A lot of gas mains were turned on to flood the area before ignition. trigger could have been any number of small matches that could have set it off at that point.
Any luck on the camera?
If there was one, there's a spot that was full of looky-loos at that point. But there's a pretty good spot. Just off the corner. It's like a corner-facing house. Would point perfectly this way.
Did you check to see if any of the looky-loos looked to be particularly interested in what was happening beyond just, oh no, someone kind of exploded?
There's people asking questions, but they sounded normal. Like, is there a gas leak? What could it have been? And hopefully, and he unzips his duffel bag, and you see like remains of like little whatever that thing was, little container. But hopefully, with this gone, they will just call it a gas leak.
Right.
I am more curious to see if there were any. I want to go back another night to see if there is a camera there to confirm or deny. But other than that, see,
Guess we will.
You get a good look at the ones that would have been where the camera was?
the people there.
Just in case.
That's the problem with these hunter types. They can kind of be whoever, wherever. At least in my experience. You guys might have different experiences.
Okay.
Haven't really
No.
dealt with them, but it's always a person you least suspect, intentionally so.
She'll send -2 to
Nice.
Ada. Well, we already know about the -1.
Yeah, Blake, they already knew where it's gone.
Yep.
So she'll put -2 to Ada and also to Miles.
Mm-hmm.
You get a check mark emoji back from Ada. Just because thumbs up seems to be would be inappropriate in this case. Miles just responds with "damn." Followed up not too long after that by we have B's buddy in hand.
Part of the audio recording would have been like shattered glass, most likely from the explosion, not necessarily from one of his boys getting out, unfortunately. But it's very. You guys hearing Ichidio's audio recordings, like he likes to joke and make crack wise every now and again. It is very like one tone, scientific.
Work mode.
Yeah, work mode.
Y'all start getting links sent to you by Walter. Just where people are like already put, the looky-loos are already putting up the videos they make with their cell phones up on like Facebook and TikTok and whatnot.
Of the explosion or of just a bunch of officers?
Basically of the, some of them have footage of like when the house was still on fire.
Okay.
None of them have it of when it happened. And most of it is like once the fire department stuff started showing up.
Nothing masquerade breaching.
Is there a random black blob going through one of them?
Are you gonna sit there and spend some time going through all the videos he's sending you?
I got nothing better to do this evening.
All right, give me a wits awareness. You're sitting there just studying the cameras or studying the film. Anybody else wants to do can as well.
Okay, what's awareness?
Uh, 4 successes. Landing solidly in 4 today, I think. I need to find out what that magic number is.
5.
Emma's not getting in on this.
And Kyle over here just, I'm used to this at this point.
So Egidio, you notice it's, the video that really catches your attention is one from across the road. Guy was standing on the sidewalk filming. You think you kind of remember, just seeing
I know which
him.
guy it was.
Not that that's important,
Sure.
but he's catching some of the fire truck, the house, but he's also catching that cluster of looky-loos that were by the fence. And a lot of them are like, in like sweatpants or, it was late enough by this point. Everybody was pretty well in their lounge get up.
The one randomly in jeans.
Yeah, you got the one guy that's, in jeans and his wife beat her because, he pulled pants on wearing out the door. Or
3 in the morning.
Probably not quite that late. But there's one guy in that group that's just like fully dressed. I mean, just,
He was prepared for the explosion.
Not wearing anything, unusual. It's not like he's sitting there in a full business suit or, full MIB get up
Sure,
or sunglasses or anything.
Still mismatching with the rest of the crowd here.
Just a little bit,
Yep.
He looks a little more put together, He does have like a trucker hat kind of pulled down low. Kyle, you spot this guy, and you spot him fiddling with the fence a little bit.
Ooh.
Before sticking his hands in his pockets.
All right.
Yep, that's the guy.
And he hangs around watching, and then as looky-loos are breaking up, he walks off too.
Like I said, just whoever, wherever, points at the guy.
Yeah, he took the camera.
You can't make much detail out of him. Dude's 6'1" or so. I mean, you're just kind of guessing. He was one of the taller people in the group of looky-loos.
Yeah.
And he had like a full beard, but
Do we recognize? We don't recognize him at all.
no, like I said, you don't get a whole lot of detail on him. The person filming is not focusing on the looky-loos.
Yeah.
They're just in the shot.
They knew it was there.
Or maybe they just noticed it and went, "Oh, free camera." Who knows?
That too.
I'm sure with the way y'all's luck goes, it's totally a coincidence.
Yeah, they just saw a camera and
Absolutely.
wanted a camera.
More like the camera brilla. Let it fester.
Oh yeah, it's festering
Good.
like a wound
Good.
in my psyche.
So there was a lot of footage to go through. There was several people out there filming. So that takes you a little while. Emma, you get a message from Ada that she is inbound. A little bit later, knock on the back door. Oh no, I forgot. Ada's got a key. The back door just
Ada
opens.
would have
Ada,
a key or the code.
Ada just door opens. Ada just walks in. You can see a couple of one of Woodard's sedans are parked in the back. You see a couple of her security guys accompanying Ada. They don't come into the office, but
Evening, ma'am.
oh, and what an evening it is.
The -2 were confirmed. And she'd give the names. Mile gave them the names, right?
I
Possibly,
don't remember
maybe.
if he actually did or not. He could. I mean, he it seems like he probably would have.
Yeah. Would pass on the names. Mile has the ghoul of the original deceased. You're better at getting information. We just want to see if they have any possible links that could explain how they found and trapped the house before we send them to a farm upstate, potentially.
With haste.
Oh, so nobody around here needs a pet ghoul?
Ghouling a hunter is so overplayed.
Kyle tilts his head like, what are you talking about? Pet's dog.
We also have
Wait.
two pointing back at Kyle and the dog.
Out of character. This is the player asking, can you take somebody else's ghoul?
You have, yeah. If they feed from you often enough, they'll become, bloodbound to you. And you have independent ghouls that just run around hunting vampires to keep themselves fed. Not a whole lot of them, because that's a pretty dangerous way to make your living.
That's dangerous, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, in some of the old stuff, you had Kane's ghoul still running around.
I myself am not one to adopt other people's problems. I usually end up making my own. Typically, they don't have legs.
Yeah,
Looks
we
over
can
to
definitely.
Kyle.
He's sure Miles can take care of the problem. He's probably got some folks that are hungry.
Yeah, we're trying to look into that too. Maybe time for folks to do alternate feeding methods, but some of the older kindred may be resistant to that.
The older kindred are also less likely to jump on a carcass and get into a gunfight over it.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
the
did say
younger ones.
he decomposed pretty quick, though. So he might have been older than we thought.
Yeah, he did.
They just like, Well, that's true. The younger ones don't usually take ghouls. Especially not ghouls that aren't living with him.
Something to keep in mind. We'll look into either perhaps expanding to Nadzet to do the blood bank, or the younger ones can still feed off of animals. It won't be pleasant, but anything's better than, succumbing to the beast.
Mm-hmm. It'll be the people with serious feeding restrictions that'll have the most trouble.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that folks generally don't talk about. Do you know of anyone that has a gluten allergy or something like that?
Well, virtually any Ventru.
Yeah.
How crippling their, the entire clan is afflicted with that sort of thing. How severe it is, how niche their hunger or their thirst is, it varies a lot from individual to individual. And she's not going to divulge any details she might know about people in the in the mall. That would just be rude.
Yeah.
What if they were feeding off of like a prized pig, like a real blue metal like hog from a state fair?
It would depend on what their individual restriction cravings were.
I'm just saying, there's options. But speaking, you were just talking about the Ventru, so that's what
I mean,
thought.
if you can only feed off of left-handed people, then no pig is going to do.
Right, but I was talking about the Ventru in particular. Focus.
It's something we'll start to look into as we need to.
If all else fails, experimentation.
But also, cameras are being put up in places before events occur. There was possibly, well, should pull up the part in the video with the one guy kind of palming the camera. The camera was up before the explosion.
She looks at the video. So what are we thinking? That they tracked Blake back to his haven and then either put it under observation or put the camera up after they'd killed him, waiting to see who would show up and sniff around?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, either one's possible. Bird, not that Kyle, Pat, reported back that it was there, but they got distracted by the explosion. So we at least know it was there before the explosion.
Egidio,
Yeah.
You're kind of the fashion guru of the coterie, as much as there is one.
Yes.
You've been discussing this, and you realize, Ada is wearing some really nice, like high-heeled leather boots, and she's got she's wearing like a long coat. But
Get promoted, Ada?
what'd you say? I didn't catch that.
Did you get promoted, Ada?
What? Oh no, I was at a party.
That's quality.
Oh yeah, Woodard picked it out. It's not my usual style.
It's style.
I'll tell
I'm not
you.
going to be the kind of boss that says, you have to wear this, but it just looks good. That's all.
Business party?
Well, these boots look they might be like thigh highs.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell. They go up to under the coat. There's also a slight creaking sometimes when she moves.
Nope.
Hmm.
Sorry, I had to kick a cat because she was trying to chew on my microphone cord.
Or maybe a dinner date.
Oh, there was dinner involved.
Oh?
I just told you I know about some of the Ventru feeding restrictions.
I see. So you were +1 for Woodard then?
I was one of the people at the party.
Oh, you were invited personally. Impressive.
Yeah, Woodard always likes to drag me to these things. All right, it's saying we're live again.
I have a Sonic commercial.
That's what I'm looking at. Well, I hope we weren't out for too long.
No, it was only a couple seconds.
Okay.
Oh, so it'll probably just attach the files automatically.
It should.
We can hope.
One can hope. And it's like, your business is your own.
Thank you, Ellen. Perhaps I should have changed.
All I'll
Probably
ask is,
go
did
ahead.
you at least have a good time?
It's really not my scene, particularly. I mean, I'm not hungry now, so there's that at least.
What a coincidence. I'm not either.
I'm a little peckish, but that's neither here nor there.
Maybe something to consider for. Like thinking. There's still people who are dumb enough to not listen to quarantine rules. It could be something we could use to our advantage for those that are hungry, as long as they behave.
Ada nods. Oh, yes, there's definitely people ignoring that.
the former medical personnel in me does not support that idea, but we have to make sure people don't draw attention.
You can't really tell the rich what to do. They'll tell all the rest of us what to do and then do whatever they please.
Maybe look into a modified version of that for some of our more hungry folks. Not quite a herd, but
if people got stir crazy and we set up a rave somewhere,
it would definitely have to be gone into with the everyone behave themselves, don't leave any bodies.
Yeah, that's standard operating procedure.
Something to consider,
she's
though.
like, that's that is for all of you to come up with, but
yeah.
She will make the adjustments to the. She reaches into her coat, pulls out her phone. Brings up the notepad to make the minuses.
I'm sure Miles will get you the information as to where he has the ghoul at.
I'll contact him as soon as I leave here. Unless you want us to bring him back here to question him or some other location.
What's the others? Do you have anything you want to ask them?
Not particularly. The who, what, when, why.
Well, some information's better than none, and he might have seen something that we didn't see.
I trust you and Miles to be thorough with this.
Okay.
You particularly. I've seen what Woodard does.
She gives you a sharp look.
I said that.
Like she's not sure what you mean by what you've seen what Woodard does.
I have.
What specifically are we talking about now?
Being very thorough.
Well, you mean as far as questioning it, she usually leaves me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Woodard is definitely a planner. Alright, well, that's all you need. I will go change into something more comfortable and contact Miles.
Oh, one other thing. Don't have to answer if you're being, persuaded one way or the other. Was this a mixed event?
If you mean we're kind there, yes.
Oh, no,
I think he means
across the political spectrum.
Oh. No.
Okay.
No, this was something Woodard set up.
Oh, interesting.
That's what she's been planning recently and been a bit stressed about?
Yes, usually, with so many so many empty storefronts that are now completely blocked off from the outside, it's easy to run that sort of thing in the mall. But stuff keeps happening around the mall, and now there were cameras, so she found an alternate location. But yeah, she was quite stressing about it for a few days there.
I'm glad it went off without a hitch for her.
Well, it wasn't the full-sized event that she would have liked, but it was enough.
Desperate times and measures.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't keep you further.
If you need anything else, or when me and I'll probably come by tomorrow after the question. After me and Miles have done our questioning, fill you in on what we've discovered.
Just kind of nods.
And then she turns around and heads to the bank.
Click, 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 click.
Yep.
I'm like, it's not a half bad idea to get some people fed.
Well, I can keep experimenting with food, see what comes of it.
Well, even just people that have to have straight blood or something like that. It would just be perhaps an easier way to get a large group of people at a location and let people mingle and nature take its course, so to speak.
All thing I have to say is keep in mind we have hunters around now. A large group of us in one place could be a very tempting target.
I'm aware of them. Not saying we do it tomorrow night and start making flyers today, but it could be something to consider.
And I know, but it only takes one to slip up.
Don't be the one that slips up then.
All right. Is there anything else
See
y'all
what-
want to do this evening?
Like maybe see about getting more people to do DoorDash. Like sometimes gets people to open their doors.
See, now that could be something. That idea has merit.
Vampire pizza delivery drivers everywhere.
Thinking of all the ways they go horribly wrong too. I approve of this
Mhm.
plan.
Little pizza, little blood loss. It'll be fine.
Mm-mm.
No, I don't think I have anything else for tonight.
Yeah, I'm good.
Hmm. Kyle would text. I don't know if there'd be like a Gangrel Baron group chat.
You have got a
You can make one.
yeah. You could send messages specifically just to the Gangrel Barons. But now that I think about it, there's several of those in town.
Yeah. That's the point. He'd send like the group text with them and his um any idea on how to get in touch with Gramps?
The first response you get back is from one of the pack members, like, "You can you can always just walk up on his porch, but I wouldn't recommend it."
Mm-hmm.
Rams has a shotgun.
One of the others respond, "Him and Sebastian have always gotten along all right."
Hmm. I'll have to see which one works better. All right, thank you.
You get a few question marks, like they don't know exactly what you're planning here. But
Well, they had mentioned getting in touch with the older Gangrel because they're trying to figure out what the werewolves were doing in the city.
oh, that's right, I forgot about that conversation. You probably wouldn't have gotten the question marks then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but all right. So, all right, you said that was all y'all were really planning to do this evening.
Yeah, more or less.
Mm.
So y'all retire back to your havens. What precautions do you take as you head out to your haven?
Kyle will shift into a wolf when um he'll like go into the forest again.
Mm-hmm.
Shift into a wolf there. I don't get hungry. And then he is going to um sort of sneak through the areas with Shiloh, and then he'll take his. I specifically bought this upgrade for my haven. He'll take his cistern entrance to get into his haven without having to actually go like up to the house itself.
Oh, neat, neat. So something that probably it's so it basically just looks like a cistern from the outside.
It's I don't think it specifically has to be a cistern itself. It's just it's a way like a tunnel.
Like a courtyard that has that happens to have a tunnel.
Or it looks like or maybe something that looks like a storm drain,
Mhm.
but it doesn't actually connect to the sewers or anything.
Where is it? Oh,
You
sorry,
just
not
squat
cistern.
some prepper's house.
Not cistern, postern.
Oh, gotcha.
Your haven has a rear exit, secret tunnel, grating in the cellar leading into the sewers, or other unobtrusive way out. For each dot of this merit, add 1 die to your dice pulls to evade or escape surveillance near your haven.
Okay.
So if I need to make rolls, I get an extra dice.
Okay. We will make you roll tonight. I don't know in general what's becoming your standard methods of getting around.
Yeah, now that there's a lot more eyes on, Kyle's going to be doing that all the time now. He was doing it off and on, but that's going to become his go-to now.
Okay. Shiloh was quite pleased to be running around with you in your wolf form.
Shiloh's just like, this is the best day ever.
Wait, do we have a secret tunnel? Woohoo!
Like
Egidio.
every fantasy book ever. Egidio will just cloaks up and walks off. He's relying on his eyesight to find him a camera. And then he has his own ways of snuffing it out however temporary.
Okay. So yeah, if you head home and you're keeping an eye out for cameras, you don't spot any around your haven.
I haven't broken the masquerade in the area.
That seems to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, exactly how they tracked Blake down is of course still up in the air, but it did happen right after he had a little incident.
Mm-hmm.
And how is Emma getting home?
She has no fancy sneaky tricks. So just being very careful. Serendipitous routes. Maybe entering, because she's in an apartment, so just maybe entering from a different entrance or exit that she typically doesn't use.
Like the opposite side of the building kind of stuff.
Yeah, just different time, opposite side of the building, trying to blend in with groups that may be going in or out. Maybe making it look like she's doing a delivery or something.
This is 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning by the time you're rolling in, so I'm not sure how much door dashing is being done at that point.
Hunker knows.
You'd be surprised.
In a big city, yes. In Decatur, during the lockdown, you only had a handful of places that were open 24 hours. Though I guess people would still be getting stuff from Waffle House and places, so yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll just try and take more serendipitous routes and be looking into maybe getting a standalone structure at some point.
Kind of upgrade like Kyle did.
Yeah, or just like another, like a second apartment, or maybe something in a more secure area, that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, all of you get home safely tonight. And as the sun rises, you drift off, putting this not great day behind you. Or night behind you. And we will wrap here for the day. Pick up again next week. Hopefully we'll be back to our steady schedule.
Fingers crossed.
Hope y'all had fun. I enjoyed it, even if we did a little late start. Anybody that came by and watched or comes by and watches later, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll show up next week. If you're looking for more games here on Dire Bear, check the schedule below. There are more games. Hopefully you're a 5e fan. And again, I was your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me was Sarah as Emma.
I'm waving.
Eric as Kyle, and Jeremy as a GTO. And we will see y'all next week.
I'm also waving, but you can see me.